So for every step forward, there's a step in revoice. Things could be better, they could always be worse.
A dog!
Hi. Should I come up with an intro that isn't just an awkward hi? I'm back. We'll see when this gets uploaded because my ear is picking up and we'll see what goes. If you've seen the title and thumbnail, if I've titled and thumbnailed this as I expect to, you might know I am talking about EA once more. I know that no, it's fine. This channel is just me yapping. I truly don't care. At least not yet. Today, I want to talk about the Gamechangers, the EA Gamechangers. Last video, it's technically a follow-up to that, but that really much stands alone, at least what I think so. Last video, I talked about EA and their problem with their DLC and all the packs and how game packs and kits really are horrific. In terms of just manipulative marketing. Okay, I don't want to say manipulative. It is kind of manipulative marketing, isn't it? Because kits and game packs, and even stuff packs to some degree, even though that has a purpose that exists from The Sims 2 and into The Sims 3 as well, they kind of could have been. They could have just been sort of put into bigger packs and other stuff packs or expansion packs and fold them out to actually have it be a full thing instead of the half-baked shit. Well, it's not okay. This is the problem. It's the price point for what you're getting. Because to me, if you take the Sims 3 packs and directly compare them with the Sims 4, they aren't worth the same. I'm not going to get into that because this video is about the Gamechangers, and I want to make this crystal clear in the beginning. I am not going after anyone. I've probably put faces in the thumbnail. Rest assured, I'm not going to say any names. I've put them in the thumbnail because, a game changer is a very long word and it doesn't really look nice in a thumbnail, at least to me. So we'll see how I go about that. Maybe I do put the word in, but people understand what I'm getting at when I put faces in. But rest assured, this isn't about only those creators, and I've only used their faces as the most recognizable ones so people understand, oh, this is what I'm talking about. I just had to put that out of the way because here's the thing, I am not a channel. This is glorified voice notes. But it's just me complaining and bitching. But I don't want anyone to feel like I hate any of these creators. I actually like some of them and I enjoy some of their content. Even if it is a little bit too it can get very toxic in these communities. And not in a cesspool Twitter way, but more in a toxic positive way. It's not overwhelmingly negative. The Sims community is overwhelmingly positive, which sounds like a good thing, but when criticism is met with excuses for EA or just straight up shutting down people's ideas. Not that I'm saying these creators do that or these creators communities do that, but it does happen even in these communities, but just not in the same way. And let me just expand on that. So some of the YouTubers I put up do have quote unquote more critical takes on The Sims 4. However, there's this, did the audio change? Can you hear that? I don't think you can, so I'm going to keep going because it's not comfortable with the way I was sitting before. Basically, even though these creators and their communities claim to be more critical of EA, if you actually look at what they say, they said, here's the thing, it's fine to want to criticize something in it's fine to criticize something while also praising it. That's not the problem I have. The problem comes in when these communities don't acknowledge just how much they are biased towards The Sims 4 and The Sims team and EA, even if they claim to be this objective or they try and be quote-unquote objective. Because here's the thing, I don't really think true objectivity exists because we all come from our own set of morals and values and positionality. And we our life experiences make up our interpretation of events. That's not to say there isn't more balanced and nuanced takes where people acknowledge it, but it's the problem I have with a lot of, well, it's a lot of online discourse in general. Actually, it's not just limited to The Sims 4. I want to make a Wings video like this actually because I have so many opinions on the Wings fandom, good and bad. But I mean, RANT sells. I think. Um, these creators sell themselves as the more critical of EA, but like people who are actually critical of EA, I'm going to be completely honest, would not be game changers. Like if you truly wanted to give people the most like transparent view of the Sims 4 packs, you would not be a game changer, because what is a game changer? And in fact, what is a sim guru? What are these names? Effectively, they are I don't want to call them illusions, but they are methods for which EA can control the narrative of their game by spinning it into something more palatable. The reason why people are so hesitant to criticize the Sims 4, I want to say it's the Sims 4 specifically because like the rest of the Sims games have a little bit more, as I said, it's a different time period, it's a different game altogether, literally. But with the Sims 4, they've gotten to know these Sims gurus who are just employees of EA. They are the developers. But developer sounds cold. It sounds technical. It sounds disconnected from the community. A sim guru is just like a fun name to give developers. They are just developers. They are not your friends. Like for them to give them the term sim guru and to communicate with the community, I hate to be the bitch to tell you this. They might care. They are people. But that is their job. They are marketers. Like they are just marketing the game by being involved in the community. Like a lot of EA isn't alone in this, but EA does this the best, quote unquote. When I say the best, I mean they do it with the most. I think it's the most egregious, where they try and use personality and like personal opinions and the human body as a proxy to sell their game, which to me, I don't want to call it disgusting, because I feel like that might be an overstatement to some people, but I hate that they do it because it's so blatantly manipulative. And you could argue all marketing is manipulative. And that goes into another conversation of like marketing, but that's not my point right now. Well, it kind of is, but not the whole like in marketing industry. I mean, specifically with EA and specifically how they've controlled this narrative. I've talked about sim gurus, now I'm going to talk about the game changers. The sim gurus, I think, as much as people don't want to criticize them, people are more willing to. The game changers, people do not want to touch with a 10-foot pole. Because you can incur the wrath of like a very avid community or avid communities, because you go after their influencer, they go after you. I'm assuming you've heard of parasocial relationships. This is a very common thing right now. And here's the thing, any content creator is going to have a level of like parasocial relationship with their fans. There's no way to like mitigate that unless you are like solely like an education channel. And even that, it's like, you could argue there's like a little bit of loyalty there. It's fine. But EA is leveraging these influencers' relationship with their audience to sell their game. And I don't mean to say that any of these people are lying about the way they feel about these packs. But because they are EA game changers, ostensibly they are employees of EA. They are employed marketers. Whether or not you want to accept what I'm saying is irrelevant to me, quite frankly, because their job as EA game changers is to get the pack and market the pack. You could argue they just send the pack for free. They don't need to make a video, but there is incentive to, because you want to be part of the EA game changers, and you want to keep getting those packs, and you want to quote unquote reward EA for the game they've given them. This is without even like sponsored money. Like this is me with the sponsored money. It's so insane to me. Where like, think about it like this: you want to get an honest review of a product online, so you want to go look up someone who's reviewing the product. But if this person, Rosanna Pansino, that's one I know as I watch her sometimes. Say you go to her channel for like a review on like a coffee machine, but she is sponsored by the creators of the coffee machine. She's paid money for it, and she got the product for free. Do you think that is listen, I talked about how I don't think objectivity exists. This also extends to like the whole I'm unbiased, but like I think there is a way to mitigate bias to some degree. However, if you're being paid by someone to review a product that you got for free, fucking That is the most biased you can be. And I know some of them, and you might recognize this wording. I might get the pack for free from EA, but I try to be completely unbiased as if I bought it with my own money. Fuck you. Okay, that's a bit mean. Like, that feels, okay, not really. I do like these people. I keep saying things and then I keep saying things like, I don't do this thing, and then I do the thing. That's not really hypocrisy, because like these, again, I do like the content these people make. The problem is, they are hypocrites. Well, not hypocrites. Okay, hypocrite. Do you see why this is so hard for me? Because it's like, it's not just hypocrisy. Because here's the thing, I understand why they do what they do. And I've talked now about how it is deceptive to me for them to review these packs and present it as like, oh yeah, it's my quote-unquote unbiased review. Even when they do acknowledge their biases, they cultivate an audience that will then sort of waive that unbiasedness and be like, oh, but I trust this creator. Like, there's a level of, like, EA is leveraging the trust or that audiences have with influencers. And like, the reason I say they're so good at what they do, despite having a shit game, it's ironic actually that the game is so bad, but their marketing is exceptional. Because EA understands marketing. What you need to do is not, like, what's the saying? He who speaks the best creates the truth. Now, where do you think I got that quote from? I plucked it out of thin air. Like, this is the thing. You say, and that kind of proves my point. I made up that saying, but it sounds like I've come up with something, or like I've quoted something exceptional. Maybe it doesn't, and I'm just like shooting myself in the foot here. But like, maybe that's also because I have a problem with talking. But it's like, my point is that the better you can talk, the better your chances is of convincing people. And that's what influencers kind of are. It's the people who have the most charisma. It doesn't matter. Like, the reason why so many influencers are exposed as bad people doing bad things isn't because they were like secretly evil or like secretly just they wanted to do a crime and they turned evil. It's the thing is, they've always had those tendencies. Those tendencies always existed. The thing is, they also had the ability of like the gift of the gab, the gift to speak. Like, they are the reason why a lot of people don't become like online influencers, at least now, or the reason they give is this: they can't talk the way they do. Like, they don't have the same charisma, which is fine. Although I kind of like hearing from those people personally. And maybe the opposite of me, I like to yap. I don't know if I'm good at talking, I just do it a lot. But yeah, I have been ragging a little bit on the influencers for their biased takes. I do want to say this though, because in the beginning I said to give them grace, or at least to some degree I said something to that effect. I will give them grace here, because from their perspective, from all of these influencers' perspective, think about it. A lot of them are like 30-ish, like adult age, and they are all, at the very least, like the age to which they've grown up with The Sims. And this is why I place this blame solely on, the reason my anger, ire, isn't towards the community, it's not towards the Gamechangers, it's actually towards EA. Because when I said they're leveraging the influencers' audiences, they're also leveraging those influencers' bond with The Sims. The unfortunate thing about EA is, as a company, and because they are a company, is that they own The Sims. They own The Sims legacy. They own The Sims nostalgia. And that's what The Sims 1 and Sims 2 re-release represent. It is them remembering, or like, not remembering, it's them now, because they're in a tough spot because of recent dramas with their company. They're now leveraging that nostalgia once more to try and get people to like give them money, essentially, for the same fucking games. And then also they slide in kits there, so they'd be like, this is the other sly thing with that, they slid in kits so people would be like, oh, we can play The Sims 4 because The Sims, we got free Sims 4 kit, I might as well go have a look at it. It's so slimy, but it's also, their marketing game is unfortunately so good, and it's upsetting. And with these influencers who became Gamechangers, who had been playing The Sims since The Sims 1 or Sims 2, what it says to me, I don't blame them, because think about it from their perspective, they become Gamechangers. They literally become part of the company that they grew up with, that helped form their formative memories, helped like shape the people they are by creating this wonderful game, these 3 wonderful games. And The Sims 4 is adjacent to that. The Sims 4 just kind of sucks. And that's the thing, The Sims 4 is now old enough to have a generation of children who now have nostalgia for it and they can leverage it once again. And the reason they have nostalgia for it is because they saw YouTubers play it. It's like, it's a vicious cycle of EA using nostalgia and using influencer marketing and using their parasocial relationship with their audience to then like basically print money for them. And it works. And what's more is, not only does it help on the monetary standpoint that people are buying these packs and buying this broken game, what's sad is, because people have this connection with EA because of the gurus and the Gamechangers, people defend EA's bad practices. People defend like the selling of a broken game. People defend having to have day one bug fixes because the game is unplayable. People defend that Sims 4 isn't built to have this many packs. It was never, like, you know that theory? It's barely even a theory. It's like mostly alleged, but no, it's mostly true, just you have to put alleged there. Like with The Sims 4, it's theorized that it might have been a mobile game when it was first being created, and its baseline is a mobile game. It's so sad to see people still defend a game that wasn't even built for its initial purpose of being a successor in this like line of games. It is kind of depressing to see how, I don't like this saying, but it does get across what I mean, how people have just like gulped that Kool-Aid so much. It's not a saying I use. I can't really think of one that's equivalent to it. It's just manipulation. People have been manipulated into like caring so much, and like, and here's the thing, if you like The Sims 4, I am on one hand happy for you, but also it makes me so sad because I've escaped that. It took a while actually to escape the Sims hole, and even now I still go back to the older games. But The Sims 4, I was old enough to like not care about it, but I know people have formed very strong bonds with the game. And here's the thing, to be fair, this game has also created jobs for people, has also created people's livelihood. So there is a level of respect and like loyalty there. But that also just goes back to my other point of the biases. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. Not only is there like the nostalgia factor and the whole growing up and joining EA factor, the other one also is just money. Like this hell world we live in, you need to have a stable income, and The Sims has already allowed that for them. It's also like, here's the thing, being an influencer is a lot easier than most jobs. So these people are literally like surviving off of like their connection with EA, and if they were to like sever that, they know the most of the audience won't follow them. The funny thing with the Sims audience is they only follow Sims, they don't follow other audiences. There's a lot of channels you'll see where they've tried to make second channels or like live stream channels, and maybe the live streams get views when it's The Sims, but when it's anything else, it drops significantly. Like, I don't know, I wish the community was less of a toxically positive place, but at the same time, I don't blame them for it. I mostly blame EA for what they've done and for what they're using and how like slimy it is. And like, I don't even know if it's technically illegal, because this is the thing with legality, especially because I don't really know the American law system. I don't live there. But it's like, is it illegal? Debatable, because it's marketing, baby. Leveraging, like, I don't know. I think I'm just going to end it there, because I'm sweating, but I've talked myself kind of into like a slight nihilistic episode for myself. So hopefully I'll see you.